Have you ever wondered what flowers would say if they could write? Some imagine only perfumes, but there is a garden where aromas have syllables and petals keep tiny verbs, as if each fold were a letter tilted by the wind. At the center of that garden rests an old notebook, its linen cover marked by a faint drawing of interlaced ivy. It does not open in a hurry. The fabric asks for quiet hands, slow breathing, and a kind of silence that is born first in the chest and only then reaches the world. They say the notebook shows its pages only to those who arrive without noise inside, to those who want true rest, to those who seek a sleep story that guides gently into deep sleep, like a breeze that turns off, one by one, the lights of the mind. Around the notebook, the garden waits. The earth keeps the temperature of a warm embrace. The grass is a carpet of peace, freshly rinsed by a drizzle. The air carries a soft taste of crushed leaf, and the sky, in a blue that already understands night, spreads a sheet of fine clouds. Time loosens its knots. Any anxiety decides to take off its shoes before entering. The flowers watch with patience, like seasoned readers at the edge of a secret. In every corolla, a premonition. In every closed bud, the promise of a sentence about to be born. Whoever approaches notices that the garden speaks first with scents, then with textures, and finally with a very low murmur made of dew syllables. It is a natural invitation to relaxation, a bedtime story told by nature itself, shaped to quiet thoughts that run, to soothe anyone who feels the weight of insomnia, for those who now wish to fall asleep fast with comfort and safety. In the most sheltered corner, between lavender and jasmine, stands the wooden table where the notebook rests. The wood bears time marks that resemble maps. The edge keeps an almost invisible crease, as if grateful fingers had lingered there for many nights. Beside it lies a small paperweight in the shape of a magnolia leaf. The wind tries to play with loose sheets but respects the notebook the way one respects an old secret. Touching the cover would be enough to feel the vibration of an entire garden arranging words inside, preparing the first line. There is no rush. The very air learns to breathe in 4 beats: inhale, pause, exhale, rest. A sweet rhythm that is, in itself, meditation for sleep. Flowers know the quiet order of things. First, they teach the body to rest, feet heavier, calves loose, knees aligning, hips finding a better anchor, the spine surrendering to the mattress, shoulders gently dissolving worries without any harm. The face unlaces its expressions, the tongue finds a soft place on the roof of the mouth, the eyes, even closed, grow lighter. The heart receives the visit of a slow tempo, like a watering can that finds the exact thirst of the soil. Only then does the notebook feel it can finally open the first page. The sound is almost none, a fabric sigh, a brief fiber crackle. Night leans in to read. A short sentence appears, written in calm, dark ink: listen before you care. It is not a commandment, it is a gesture. The flowers agree with tiny movements, almost imperceptible. A carnation straightens its neck. A camellia exhales a perfume of good remembrance. The notebook continues, the handwriting like stream threads. Every flower has a favorite word. Some prefer time. Others, water. Others, distance. There are also flowers that rest better when they hear their own name. Call things by name, and they will rest beside you. The garden then pronounces names that seem made of light: lavender, which calms; jasmine, which welcomes; magnolia, which protects; chamomile, which cradles. Each name finds a soft place in thought, like clever seeds seeking a warm nest. On the other side of the table, a filament of wind discreetly moves the next page. The letters darken slightly, taking on the color of dusk. Every night is a house with many doors, says the notebook. The door of tiredness opens easily, but leads to corridors that never end. The door of worry opens with noise and fills pockets with stones. The door of gentleness, however, opens almost by itself, and behind it there is a garden like this one, where things do not demand, they simply offer themselves. The flowers tilt their heads as if agreeing with something obvious and precious. A choir of petals breathes together, and that shared breathing fills the air with invisible notes, like tiny bells ringing from the inside out. The entire garden vibrates at a frequency that invites deep sleep, the serenity that erases noise and brings the body back to its home of rest. The notebook asks for silence to tell a story within the story. Once, a flower refused to open for days that felt like months. Not out of fear, but out of delicacy, it waited for the right temperature of shade, the right music of wind, the right instant of water. When that moment arrived, it made no spectacle. It merely yielded, like day yields to night, and night to the first bird. The page records, true things happen without noise. The next letters dissolve into luminous points and, for an instant, the notebook becomes an inverted sky. The flowers hold the glow with a kind of silent enthusiasm. The human heart, when it meets this landscape, understands it does not need to persuade sleep, it only needs to allow it to approach, like a cat choosing the quietest lap. Now the ink shifts tone. A dark green, almost moss, draws words that curve slowly. Whoever lies down in this garden leaves outside what weighs. Worries can wait on the moon's coat rack. Plans for tomorrow willingly stand on the porch. No one loses anything by resting. The air itself grows tender. If there were synonyms for rest, they would all be there: pause, relief, tenderness, shelter. The notebook then offers a small ritual, simple as water. Inhale through the nose counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold a brief moment, like recalling a pleasant scent, release the air in 6 soft beats, rest for 2 instants, to make room for more peace. Repeat 3 times. This cadence teaches the body to speak to the night in the language it understands. The garden, attentive, listens to the steps of calm. Lavender perfumes the air with memories of fresh pillows and blankets that hug. Jasmine announces that thoughts, for today, are allowed to be small, round, and slow, as if they floated on warm water. Magnolia keeps watch at the door, forbidding the entrance of urgent noises. And chamomile serves tea to the hours which, when invited, sit down and unlace their shoes. Time forgets how to run and learns to sway in an invisible hammock. Somewhere among the roots, a music almost vegetal covers the soil in notes that resemble breeze. It is a landscape tailored for those who searched for a story to sleep, for those who need relaxation without tricks, for those who type fall asleep fast when the mind insists on running through lit corridors. Satisfied with the softness of the moment, the notebook decides to reveal a gentle riddle. At the bottom of a page, a slanted line asks, "What does a flower hear before it blooms?" The question hovers like a still firefly, illuminating its own lightness. Possible answers sprout from every side. It hears the earth saying, "I am here." It hears the water saying, "I come slowly." It hears the shade saying, "Rest." It hears the light saying, "No rush." It hears the wind saying, "I pass." And, above all, it hears its own heart saying, "Now it is safe." Perhaps this is what the notebook promises, a place where everything repeats, without fatigue, that it is safe to fall asleep. Whoever reads feels the ties loosen with dignity, without drops or jolts, as if the body had remembered an old gesture, inherited from every rainy afternoon. The pages glide with studied tenderness. When the world is too loud, advises a paragraph, just bring your ear closer to the stem. The stem knows how to murmur growth stories no one saw, layer after layer, patience upon patience, until the bud becomes opening. And when words turn into images, the notebook offers scenes in slow motion, a drop of dew learning to roll along a vein, an ant carrying a piece of dawn, the reflection of the moon along the edges of a leaf. Quiet images treated like light remedies, without prescription but with wisdom. Whoever observes feels eyelids grow heavy with contentment. A kind of calm voice settles in, not coming from outside, but from one's own breathing, which now fits entirely in the chest with no sharp corners. At the top of the page, a single note. If something insists on worrying, visit it with gentleness and say, "We'll talk better tomorrow. Tonight, I offer you a bed of flowers." The note does not promise miracles, only good manners with one's own mind. And good manners, when practiced slowly, turn into comfort. The next page lights up like a window open to the night. The ink sky bears stars that seem drawn in white pencil. One of them carries a different stroke, almost a prolonged comma. The notebook explains, some stars are commas in the text of the universe. They remind us that breathing between one idea and the next is as important as the idea itself. The garden agrees with a collective breath. Newborn air finds a gentle place in the lungs. Heartbeats mark a rhythm that already knows the path to rest. Subtly, the words begin to welcome those who arrived weary from the day. Here, they say, no one needs to finish anything. Night keeps the loose ends with care. The notebook suggests imagining a soft drawer where all pending matters would be placed with kindness notes. I'll return tomorrow with more gentleness. That image resolves restlessness at the root. The body gives thanks, and in that gratitude a key hides. It does not open doors outward, it opens a gate inward. Behind it, a clearing of stillness. The entire garden fits into the space between two breaths. On the footer of the last page of this opening, a notice written with the same tenderness as someone tucking in a sleeping person. If, by chance, petals begin to speak, let them speak softly. If letters wish to turn into perfume, allow it. If sleep arrives tiptoeing, offer it the most comfortable armchair and ask no questions. The notebook closes with gratitude, not urgency. The closing is gentle, and the night understands the message. Everything is in the exact place for the mind to stop looking for exits and accept staying, welcomed, supported, warmed. The garden breathes with you, and in that cadence the most delicate certainty arises. When flowers write, they write rest. When rest reads, it finds pillows of light. And when light lies down, the whole world falls asleep slowly, like a secret that chooses, out of sheer kindness, to live inside the heart until morning. Lie down comfortably and allow your body to slowly find the exact shape of rest. Adjust the pillow as if arranging a cloud, align your head with your spine, and give your neck space to lengthen without effort. Let your shoulders drop lightly, like leaves that have given up the wind and agreed to rest. Release your jaw, your teeth don't need to touch. Your hands can rest on your abdomen or by your sides, palms facing upward, a silent sign that everything is well. Feel the natural curve of your lower back, the gentle weight of your hips, your heels touching the mattress like seeds that have chosen safe soil. Inhale through your nose, counting 4 slow beats, hold for a brief moment, and exhale for 6, letting the air find the softest way out. Repeat at your own pace, without hurry, like learning a simple song. With each exhalation, one light in the mind switches off, and the whole room begins to glow with the quiet tone of silence. Notice the air entering cool through your nostrils, sliding down your throat, opening space in your chest and, most of all, expanding your abdomen like a calm lake that grows without making waves. This is the breath that soothes, diaphragmatic, low, rounded. As you inhale for 4, allow your belly to rise first. As you hold for 1, imagine your body hugging that air as if holding a note of good news. As you exhale for 6, feel the abdomen returning and, with it, the certainty that rest knows how to return on its own. If a thought tries to run, invite it to count along: 4 to enter, 1 to receive, 6 to depart. It's a cadence that turns a sleep story into real practice, that fosters relaxation, slows the mind's haste, and prepares the ground for deep sleep. Now, refine your posture even more generously. If you're lying on your back, imagine a line of light that starts at the crown of your head and descends, vertebra by vertebra, to your tailbone. That line aligns on its own when you offer space. Slide your shoulders down and away from your ears, as if opening 2 windows for the night breeze to enter. Gently separate your toes, allowing the arches of your feet to slow down. Feel your ankles grow heavy like small warm stones. Pay attention to your knees. If you like, place a cushion beneath them so your lower back can surrender even more. Sense your hips resting symmetrically, weight distributed in silence. With each subtle adjustment, the body understands it doesn't need to wrestle with the mattress. The two can be allies in the mission of falling asleep fast with comfort. Bring awareness to the skin of your face. Forehead smooth as a lake at dawn. Eyelids heavy and comfortable, without effort. Cheekbones lowering a millimeter, cheeks slackening. Tongue loose, touching the roof of your mouth without tension. Lips meeting without pressure, like 2 leaves touching simply for the pleasure of it. Inhale for 4, hold 1, exhale for 6, and notice the contours of your face becoming friendlier to the pillow. A gentle glow streams through your thoughts and puts the drawers of the mind in order. What belongs to tomorrow agrees to sleep on the top shelf. What belongs to today lies down beside you, already satisfied. What is old dissolves into the warm air of the night. This quiet organization is a kind of meditation for sleep, simple and effective, done without complicated words, only with air and presence. Bring your attention down to your neck. Visualize the air massaging from within, a great invisible embrace wrapping your nape. With each long exhalation, the muscles release a tiny knot, almost shy, but enough to amplify comfort. Feel your collarbones breathing, they too know how to float when you allow it. Shift your focus to your shoulder blades, those 2 discrete boats on your back. At rest, they find a safe harbor. Let your back spread across the mattress like a map that has finally been opened entirely. If any point resists, invite it into the rhythm. 4, 1, 6. The body's time is a good teacher, patient, and patience usually wins. Attention to the arms. From shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, wrist to fingertips. Each segment receives a small wave of relaxation, arriving to carry away stiffness and leave in its place a warm lightness, almost sunlit. Imagine that inside each finger there is a tiny thread of sand that settles when the inner wind diminishes. The gesture is simple: inhale, hold, release. And in that gesture, the muscles understand they don't need to keep watch right now. Everything asking for a solution finds enough rest to wait for morning. The body is a house, the breath a key, the mattress a path. Together, they open the right door of the relaxing video you chose to make the night softer. Bring attention to the chest. Feel your ribs expanding like windows opening slowly, without creaking. It's not effort, it's permission. Breathing happens by itself when the body is allowed to be simple. As you release the air, notice an almost inaudible sound that resembles the tide retreating. If you wish, imagine waves dying on the sand with extreme delicacy. Each exhalation is a wave that dissolves and, in dissolving, cleans the beach of thoughts. This image truly fosters relaxation, helping the mind choose smaller, rounder thoughts that fit in the pocket of your pajamas. When only the round ones remain, the pillow becomes sky. Slide your focus back to the abdomen, this time with more affection. Place your hands there and feel the movement rising and falling, as if you were rocking your own body. The light touch tells your nervous system that the environment is safe. Safety is sleep's favorite language. With safety, the body dismisses unnecessary guards, turns off overly lit corridors, closes windows that bang, and the whole house yields to good darkness. If a worry insists, offer it a place beside you, not as an enemy but as a temporary guest. Say, in thought, that the conversation continues after the rest. Worries, when well received, learn to wait. And polite waiting becomes calm, that feeling so familiar to those who seek a bedtime story. Now, the legs. Thighs that weigh with dignity. Knees finding their fit. Shins resting without rigidity. Ankles ceasing their watch. Feet remembering beaches, toes as shells, the sole a warm sand, the heel a firm rock. You may feel a discreet warmth traveling from top to bottom, or a freshness spreading from the center to the edges. All are signs that the body is conversing well with the act of resting. With each long exhalation, circulation finds open avenues. With each inhalation comes the promise that the next minute will be lighter than the previous one. This is how deep sleep usually approaches, slowly, steadily, like mist embracing a field at dusk. If your mind proposes haste, offer it a gentle game. Mark invisible steps with your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4 to enter, 1 to welcome, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to leave. Imagine a path of stones in a garden, with each number, a soft step. In a few cycles, the sensation of insomnia begins to lose strength, because the mind has occupied its hands by counting air flowers. Nothing is forced. Attention slides toward the simple. And in the simple, night blooms. You are in a field where the rules are delicate, everything needs less pushing and more space. When space appears, the body understands the message. If any physical discomfort arises, adjust by millimeters, a pillow under your knees, another between your legs if you're on your side, a microtilt of the pelvis, the head support a finger lower. Small gestures make great pieces. Sometimes all the body asks for is a single centimeter of change, or a slightly longer sigh. The secret isn't complicated techniques, but the kindness of listening. Kindness is an ancient technology that always works. In it, meditation for sleep ceases to be an idea and becomes fabric touching the skin. Now notice the sounds around you. If there are noises, treat them as part of the soundscape. A distant cricket becomes a metronome, a faraway engine turns into a shallow sea, a door upstairs becomes a branch that won't break. The world goes on, but in here the tempo slows. Between one sound and another, there are intervals. And in those intervals the mind finds the softest beds. A bedtime story is also made of pauses. In them, the body switches off more internal switches. If the silence seems large, be grateful. Large silences are entire gardens offered at no charge. Little by little, each inhale becomes smaller than the last, and each exhale, longer. That's a good sign. It's as if the body understood it can spend less to gain more. It gains calm, gains presence, gains the temperature of coziness. The mattress receives, the blanket holds, the air cradles. The sum of these verbs produces reliable rest. There is no magical promise. There is a gentle method. In 4, it enters. In 1, it welcomes. In 6, what doesn't need to stay departs. In a few minutes, the inner clock adjusts its hands to the time zone of night. When you feel like it, imagine a warm light at your sternum, spreading like tea that perfumes the room. That light descends through your abdomen, contours your pelvis, travels along your thighs, reaches your knees, your shins, your feet, and exits through your toes like good sparks returning to the sky. Then the same light rises through your shoulders, strolls along your arms, reaches your hands, and lights each finger like small lanterns, switching off one by one until only a glow remains, breathing at the center of your chest. That glow is a serene reminder, sleeping is safe. The body believes when the language is simple. If a loud thought insists, offer it a seat in the back row and a blanket. Say to yourself, with the same sweetness used to care for someone you love, now it is time to rest. I'll return to thinking when day returns. Surprisingly, the mind respects cordial notes. And by respecting, it opens space for what truly serves this moment, the progressive sinking, the definitive quieting, the relaxation that prepares clear, soft dreams. This is how many find falling asleep fast without effort, not because they commanded sleep, but because they stopped fighting it. Finally, notice how your whole body breathes together, synchronized with the night. For to enter, 1 to keep, 6 to release. The chest moves a little, the abdomen leads, the head grows the right amount heavier, gravity becomes bed and the bed becomes a lap. If someone watched from afar, they would see a drawing of peace. If you watched from within, you would find a silent field with flowers opening without haste. In that field, each exhalation switches off a lit window. When the last window goes out, darkness doesn't remain, an entire sky full of calm does. And it is there that deep sleep usually lands, round as a new moon, whole as an old embrace, ready to stay as long as needed until morning invites the gentle, natural opening of the eyes of a body that knew, with beauty and simplicity, how to rest. Dusk settles over the garden like a blanket learning to be a breeze. The sun withdraws behind the ivy wall and leaves in the air a honey-diluted light, the kind that turns any leaf into a silent stained glass. The ivy, satisfied, keeps the last glow in its tips, and the shadows, with good manners, stretch unhurriedly along the paths. The air smells of gentle rain, not a storm that arrives shouting, but a drizzle that speaks softly with the earth. There is a murmur of drops meeting leaves and spreading in small circles, as if the entire garden were breathing in a rhythm of relaxation, designed for those seeking a sleep story, rest, to fall asleep fast with sweetness and safety. Along the stone corridor, the gardener appears with a copper watering can. He doesn't step, he draws steps. Each stride invents a curve, an almost invisible arabesque across the surface of the damp ground. The copper carries the reflection of sky and canopies, and the water inside it resembles a portable lake that knows by heart the path to the roots. The apron has deep pockets filled with simple tools, small shears, twine, a scrap of cloth to dry a handful of late seeds. In a narrow pocket lives a secret, a smooth, untitled notebook that learns words by listening. It seems to sleep, but it doesn't, it pulses lightly, as if hearing from within. Today, the gardener thinks, without moving his lips, a flower wants to speak. The drizzle finishes its message and leaves a glimmer of dew in the air. The paving stones grow darker and slicker, they smell like freshly awakened mineral. The gardener tilts the can and creates a thread of water that harms no petal. The water finds the earth, and the earth exhales a perfume of good remembrance, scent of an old yard, of sheltering shade, of a house that breathes. Bees draw letters in the air and lie down on the syllables of jasmine. A great kiskadee, punctual as an old clock, proclaims that the day may put away its haste. Without saying a word, the garden invites shoulders to release their weight, the body to align, the head to rest in the frame of the late afternoon. It is the perfect setting for a bedtime story that welcomes those coming from the rush and in need of deep sleep. To the left of the corridor, lavender arranges silence in perfumed rows. Each stem sways a fraction of a centimeter, enough to scent the imagination with fresh pillows and blankets that warm without smothering. Nearby, chamomile offers its small yellow, a wheel of sun that chose to be miniature. The gardener leans in, brings his ear closer, and perceives, before words, the intention. Some plants speak with sense, others, with temperature, others, with a kind of music that only appears for those who slow their thoughts. Tonight's intention is ancient, to soothe. The notebook in the pocket warms by a degree, as if in agreement. The copper watering can reaches the gardenias. White and steady, the flowers keep at their heart an aroma that recalls stories told on the porch. The voice of the night doesn't live here. The gardenias sing a chorus of welcome but ask for no exclusive attention. The gardener moves on. The hibiscus, almost lit in red, vibrates with the day's leftover light. Not it either. The dahlia, with geometries made of patience, breathes a little slower, as if meditating. The gardener smiles with his eyes. An enigma is drawn in his steps. Which flower wants to speak? The garden, an accomplice, hides and reveals at once. In the middle of the lawn, a path of pebbles circles the oldest bed. There, the plants that love half-shade tell long-lasting secrets. Moss, which understands waiting, covers the edges with a velvet of calm. The ivy on the wall, proud to be a ladder for light and winds, folds the day's last brightness like someone folding a sheet. The gardener runs his hand over the wall's cold surface and feels his fingers learning, by contact, the language of the coming night. A language made of pauses, of lengthened breaths, of rounded thoughts, the preferred language of those who struggle with insomnia and decide, now, to let the body be fertile ground for rest. On the right, the magnolia, even out of season, keeps its leaves like leather-bound books. When the breeze passes through, the pages murmur. Not the magnolia. Farther on, a cluster of cosmos lights small peach-colored stars on thin stems. Not them either. The gardener tilts the can again. The water finds the bases of the plants like a letter flawlessly reaching its addressee. The earth drinks without haste. The sound is almost a mantra, perfect for anyone arriving in search of meditation for sleep. A thread, a pause, another drop, a rest. In his pocket, the notebook makes a gesture only the attentive would notice. It vibrates like a leaf touched by an inner wind. The gardener stops. He listens to the path, not just the plants. He isn't looking for noises, he seeks the silences where answers live. Then a fine fragrance, almost a sigh of honey and rain, arises from a corner until now discreet, the jasmines at the back, next to the wooden gate. They make no fuss, they prefer to let perfume announce what the voice will say next. The gardener follows the invisible trail of the scent as one would follow a line of light in a dark room. Before reaching the jasmines, he passes the bed of mints. The leaves breathe freshness, and the air gains the contour of a warm bath. Some plants offer courage, others, rest. Mint offers clarity, the clarity needed to choose the door of gentleness among the many doors of night. The gardener gives thanks, silently, for that small nudge of soft lucidity. He breathes counting 4, holds 1, releases in 6. The entire garden keeps pace, and the symphony of breaths turns dusk into a concert hall of calm. Now, before the jasmines, the sky's light becomes more oblique. Blue learns the vocabulary of purple, and the first star rehearses its presence in a slit of cloud. The wooden gate beside them keeps the marks of hands and time. The gardener gently lays his palm on it. Beneath the surface he feels the history of similar nights, when some request from a flower was met with warm water and exact attention. The jasmines tip their stems by millimeters and let the perfume tell the first half of the conversation. The second half will come in the form of a brief word, the kind that fits between one inhale and the next. The notebook pulses again, asking to be opened. Not yet. The moment calls for listening without pages. A drop that lingered on a leaf decides to fall. It hits the ground with the delicacy of one apologizing for interrupting. The gardener lifts his eyes and, behind the jasmines, notices something the afternoon kept as a trump card, a shy bud, small, of undefined color, hidden among new leaves. It doesn't belong to the jasmine, a wandering seed chose to sprout there, protected by the other's perfume. Perhaps this is the night's voice, small and new. In the garden, curiosity is not haste, it is attention turned into a lap. The copperkin tilts once more, it does not overwater, does not miss its mark, does not interrupt what is still learning to be. The water, for its part, understands the message and lies down at the root of the invisible. The whole air seems to lower its volume. Distant sounds, a car passing, a plate meeting another plate in some kitchen, a burst of laughter at a neighbor's gate, become background. In the foreground, calm reigns. The gardener perceives the right moment to finally open the notebook. The gesture is simple, old, respectful. The pocket's leather gives way, the cover meets the palm, the pages feel the touch and breathe together. There is no rush. The notebook opens as flowers open, a little now, a little later, awaiting favorable light. A paragraph lights up on its own, like a firefly learning to be a sentence, listen before caring. Dusk agrees. The letters expand the counsel, who arrives in the garden at day's end arrives with remnants of sun on the shoulders. It isn't fatigue, it's brightness that weighs. Warm water and light shade turn heavy brightness into the clarity of sleep. The gardener reads with his eyes and with his body. The jasmines, a chorus of whispers, repeat the same lesson through their fragrance. The unknown bud vibrates with a tiny courage. The ivy on the wall holds the last light and returns it in bands, like a curtain that understands the language of night. The gate, an accomplice, creaks only on the inside so as not to startle anyone approaching the border between wakefulness and dream. Far back, almost off the map of the beds, the moon rehearses its first syllable between clouds. Rocked by this appearance, the garden offers a rare sensation. Everything that didn't have time to be resolved agrees, for a few moments, to sleep in a velvet drawer with a return note set for tomorrow. This feeling is what many call calm, the term people everywhere look for when they type sleep story, relaxation, deep sleep, meditation for sleep, fall asleep fast. The garden doesn't deliver a promise, it offers an old method: scent, water, silence, attention. The gardener caps the watering can, which still keeps a little lake. On its inner surface, a star is reflected that wasn't there a moment ago. The copper learns the new sky. The notebook, still open, asks for one more line. Dusk grants it. The careful handwriting writes slowly. When a flower wants to speak, don't ask much, stay close. Staying close is the great science. Pleased, the night decides to take a step forward. In doing so, it doesn't extinguish, it lights from within. The entire garden becomes a room, and the entire room becomes a field. In the apron pocket, the notebook breathes with the body that carries it. The gardener breathes with the garden that welcomes him. The shy bud listens with the root that has just been born. Petals that already exist learn to speak more softly. And the ivy on the wall, a discreet guardian, draws the curtains of light with brief, careful gestures. Evening then performs its complete office. It hands over the key of the night with a ceremony that has no audience. And this key gently opens the door to the kind of rest that matters. Whoever crosses, plant, person, thought, finds warm ground, polite air, and a silence that knows how to converse. Everything that was excess leans to make room. Everything that was lack lies down to be cared for. And somewhere between the copper of the watering can and the perfume of jasmine, certainty sprouts, clear and quiet. Yes, tonight, a flower wants to speak, and the whole night learns, with respect and tenderness, the language that helps any heart to rest. In the notebook, a sentence is underlined as if placing a finger over the world's lips: listen before caring. The letters have a discreet relief. They seem to grow from the very fiber of the paper, like roots that learn to write. The silence around accepts the invitation and becomes more attentive, not a void, but a field of listening where everything subtle finds a place. The gardener brings an ear close to a jasmine bud, a small universe curled into itself. No rushing, no touching, only tilting the head as if resting the soul against a mystery. "How can I help you sleep?" is asked, and the question does not wound, does not demand, it is gentle as warm water. The bud replies in a puff of perfume, almost a thought that recalls honey and rain, and the answer is as simple as the night. Stay. Breathe with me. Staying is an ancient art. It isn't remaining motionless, it is remaining present. The gardener understands. The body makes a small adjustment, the feet meet the ground with gratitude, the spine takes on the shape of rest, and the breath learns a cadence the notebook will later write down for anyone in need of a sleep story. Relaxation and deep sleep. Inhale for 4, keep for 1, release for 6, rest for 2. With each cycle, the garden listens a little better. With each slow exhalation, the things that had forgotten themselves remember it is safe to stop. Listening creates shelter. And in shelter, what seemed complicated finds short paths to calm, like one who types fall asleep fast and discovers that speed lives, paradoxically, in the act of slowing down. The jasmine breathes. Not with lungs, but with leaves that draw near the air like one consulting an invisible map. The gardener breathes. Not in haste, but with a care that has temperature. The notebook, in silence, begins to translate. To listen is to water before thirst, to arrive before the tear, to offer shade before the heat. And it adds, in smaller letters, who listens to the body finds shortcuts to the night. Then the gardener tries listening to what has no sound, the weight the day left on the shoulders, the hurry that lingered at the nape, the list of pending tasks trying to climb across the forehead, the discreet tension between the teeth, as if they were two clouds touching out of habit. At each recognition, the breath lengthens by a decimal, and that millimeter of air becomes tenderness in the muscle, ease in the joints, simple order in the mind. The jasmine bud, still shy, reveals another part of the secret. No one falls asleep by imposition, one sleeps by trust. The gardener agrees without words. The notebook takes note and slowly draws a line that looks more like a stream. In the margin of the drawing, an instruction that serves plants, people, restless nights, anyone seeking meditation for sleep without formality. Before giving, ask what is needed. Before acting, listen to the rhythm. The gardener brings the copper watering can closer, but doesn't tilt it yet. First, he observes the texture of the earth, the color that reveals moisture, the elasticity of the soil beneath his fingertips. Listen before caring is to perceive real thirst, not presumed thirst. The right water, at the right time, in the right direction, this is how flowers and thoughts loosen. The entire garden seems to set its clock around the small jasmine. The ivy softens its rustle, the bees trace wider routes, the clouds offer a shade of purple that intimidates haste. Then the gardener murmurs with his body a decision. He will stay. To stay means to give the bud the company of a good rhythm. For to enter, 1 to welcome, 6 to let go. With each exhalation, the petals not yet born stir within, the size of a sigh. The bud listens and learns. This is how one opens without injury. This is how one rests without getting lost. The notebook, pleased, underlines a second teaching for those who struggle with insomnia. The night is not a corridor to be traversed, it is a room where chairs draw closer when you sit down. From an old fold in the page, a memory flows. Once, a flower fell ill from an excess of zeal. It received too much water, too many counsels, too many fingers moving its soil. It recovered when someone decided to listen to the amount of silence it asked for. The gardener smiles with his eyes. To care, he understands, is a verb that requires fine adjectives: care slowly, care together, care with. And with here is the word heaviest with sweetness, with scent, with pause, with shade, with wind, with waiting, with everything that does not invade, but accompanies. Whoever seeks relaxation feels, in this instant, that the body learns the kind of company that does not oppress, a blanket that weighs only enough, a pillow that doesn't take the place of air, a darkness the eyes understand, a bed that says now it is safe. Faithful to the jasmine's request, the gardener inhales once more, keeps for a moment, releases in 6, rests for 2. He decides not to think of tomorrow, not to call back the day's murmur. He learns, with the bud, to make less noise inside. And it is within this quiet music that the notebook chooses to open a new section, Vocabulary of the Night. The first word, loosen. The text explains that loosening isn't letting go, it is adjusting the pressure so that blood doesn't forget its roads, so that thought doesn't forget the field. The second word, gentle. Not to tame a beast, but to tame hurry. To gentle the hurry is to offer it a pasture of long breaths. The third word, settle. Like dust after play, like leaves after the wind, like decisions after tea. Whoever trains in this vocabulary finds the short path to falling asleep fast, the one that does not pass through streets of demand, but through alleyways of kindness. The bud asks for a little shade. Not with a voice, but with an almost invisible tremor. The gardener tilts his body, making of his own presence an awning. The air changes by a degree. Shade is not exile, it is embrace. The notebook notes, offer shelter to what is not yet ready. When read by tired eyes, this sentence becomes inner counsel, to shelter half-made ideas, newly named feelings, formless worries. Everything unfinished deserves a corner of tenderness until it learns its size. In the language of a bedtime story, it means allowing round thoughts to stay, letting pointed thoughts wait outside with a blanket of promise, we'll talk tomorrow. Attentive, the gardener perceives enough moisture in the soil and decides to water less than he had imagined. To care, now, is to not do. The jasmine gives thanks with perfume, the air fills with a music only the nose can hear. In tune, the notebook writes as if signing an agreement. There are nights when too much help delays the dawn. There are nights when the best help is company and rhythm. For those seeking deep sleep, the phrase translates into a practical ritual, align the body's supports, soften the jaw, release the tongue from the roof of the mouth, rest the hands with open palms, imagine gentle weight in the heels, the knees, the hips, the chest, as if each part received a letter saying rest, I'll stay here. Little by little, the garden learns a state of almost sleep. It isn't torpor, it is serene clarity. Distant sounds become a frame, the center of the scene belongs to silence. The jasmine bud feels it can trust. The gardener, whose craft is to let others grow, learns something then about the night itself. It too blooms better when someone stays close without demanding a spectacle. And that staying, instead of heavy, is as light as a coat that agrees with the body. Breathe with me, the jasmine asked, and obeying that request proves to be a simple key. To breathe with is different from to breathe for. Those who breathe with someone draw a bridge, those who breathe for someone build a wall. Sleep likes bridges. From an old fold in the page, a memory flows. Once, a flower fell ill from an excess of zeal. It received too much water, too many counsels, too many fingers moving its soil. It recovered when someone decided to listen to the amount of silence it asked for. The gardener smiles with his eyes. To care, he understands, is a verb that requires fine adjectives: care slowly, care together, care with. And with here is the word heaviest with sweetness, with scent, with pause, with shade, with wind, with waiting, with everything that does not invade, but accompanies. Whoever seeks relaxation feels, in this instant, that the body learns the kind of company that does not oppress, a blanket that weighs only enough, a pillow that doesn't take the place of air, a darkness the eyes understand, a bed that says now it is safe. Faithful to the jasmine's request, the gardener inhales once more, keeps for a moment, releases in 6, rests for 2. He decides not to think of tomorrow, not to call back the day's murmur. He learns, with the bud, to make less noise inside. And it is within this quiet music that the notebook chooses to open a new section, Vocabulary of the Night. The first word, loosen. The text explains that loosening isn't letting go, it is adjusting the pressure so that blood doesn't forget its roads, so that thought doesn't forget the field. The second word, gentle. Not to tame a beast, but to tame hurry. To gentle the hurry is to offer it a pasture of long breaths. The third word, settle. Like dust after play, like leaves after the wind, like decisions after tea. Whoever trains in this vocabulary finds the short path to falling asleep fast, the one that does not pass through streets of demand, but through alleyways of kindness. The bud asks for a little shade. Not with a voice, but with an almost invisible tremor. The gardener tilts his body, making of his own presence an awning. The air changes by a degree. Shade is not exile, it is embrace. The notebook notes, offer shelter to what is not yet ready. When read by tired eyes, this sentence becomes inner counsel, to shelter half-made ideas, newly named feelings, formless worries. Everything unfinished deserves a corner of tenderness until it learns its size. In the language of a bedtime story, it means allowing round thoughts to stay, letting pointed thoughts wait outside with a blanket of promise, "We'll talk tomorrow." Attentive, the gardener perceives enough moisture in the soil and decides to water less than he had imagined. To care, now, is to not do. The jasmine gives thanks with perfume, the air fills with a music only the nose can hear. In tune, the notebook writes as if signing an agreement. There are nights when too much help delays the dawn. There are nights when the best help is company and rhythm. For those seeking deep sleep, the phrase translates into a practical ritual. Align the body's supports, soften the jaw, release the tongue from the roof of the mouth, rest the hands with open palms, imagine gentle weight in the heels, the knees, the hips, the chest, as if each part received a letter saying rest, I'll stay here. Little by little, the garden learns a state of almost sleep. It isn't torpor, it is serene clarity. Distant sounds become a frame, the center of the scene belongs to silence. The jasmine bud feels it can trust. The gardener, whose craft is to let others grow, learns something then about the night itself. It too blooms better when someone stays close without demanding a spectacle. And that staying, instead of heavy, is as light as a coat that agrees with the body. "Breathe with me," the jasmine asked, and obeying that request proves to be a simple key. To breathe with is different from to breathe for. Those who breathe with someone draw a bridge, those who breathe for someone build a wall. Sleep likes bridges. In the most discreet corner of the flower bed, where shadow arrives first and light learns to speak softly, lives a flower that never opens. It's not a lack of color, not an absence of strength. It exists as if keeping a secret in the shell of its petals, a secret offered only when the night finds the right tone of silence. No one has seen it unfurl. The gardener, patient, gathered clues in the notebook. When the wind changes, it trembles like a bird remembering flight. When the moon appears, it grows quiet, like someone reading a letter that can only be read in gentle light. What is this flower missing? Why does it wait? The garden knows that certain answers don't fit in haste, so let's discover them slowly, breathing as if learning a lullaby, letting this sleep story lead the body along a relaxation path to the refuge of deep sleep. The gardener approaches without touching. There is a science to drawing near. The steps shorten, the weight spreads, presence becomes shelter. He crouches beside the stem, respecting the space of what hasn't yet decided to open. The soil here smells of ancient rain, as if it kept memories of afternoons when everything went well. The shy flower gives a barely visible signal. It isn't an invitation to hurry, it's a sign the conversation may begin. The notebook in the apron pocket rests warm. On a previous page one reads, "Listen before caring." The riddle of this flower seems to ask for one more verb, wait in order to understand. Some waitings heal. Like the long pauses between one wave and the next, the breathing interval between two lines, the quiet the mind needs to fall asleep fast without being pushed, only guided. A fringe of breeze surrenders over the leaves. The flower trembles. The gardener notes the first clue in calm handwriting. To tremble is not to refuse, it is to feel one's way through the world. The trembling of this flower does not speak of fear, it speaks of sensitivity. There are beings that only bloom when the environment learns to speak softly. People are like that, too. Some parts of the heart open when the house grows quiet, when the lights dim, when the words turn tender. The gardener watches the direction of the breeze, mentally counts the seconds between one breath and another, synchronizes his own breathing, 4 counts to inhale, 1 to welcome, 6 to release. The body learns to become weather. The flower, sensing the neighborly cadence, settles by a millimeter. The listener's mind does, too. With every exhale a lit window goes out, and the landscape comes to resemble meditation for sleep, simple, warm, reliable. The moon lifts its first fingernail of light above the ivy wall. Then the second clue occurs, the flower grows still. The gardener writes, "To grow still is not to give up, it is to adjust one's hearing." It seems the moon brings the right volume for this conversation. Some flowers depend on precise brightness, some stories are born only in the correct penumbra. Perhaps the riddle isn't about opening but about listening. The shy flower senses the world is now at a tone it can bear. And bearing it, it can offer itself without injury. How many times has the mind tried to fall asleep beneath spotlights of worry? That's why the garden tunes the lights, less noise, less harsh light, more cozy temperature. The moon does what old grandmothers did, lowers its voice, tucks in the child, waits for the sigh that confirms rest. The gardener picks up the copper watering can but doesn't pour yet. The soil, examined carefully, reveals sufficient moisture. Excess zeal sometimes delays the miracle. He understands that the care asked for here isn't liquid, it is presence. He becomes a brief shade, a breeze that doesn't intrude, a warmth that doesn't smother. The notebook comments in the margin, explaining a silent moral. Some buds only open in the company of what does not demand. It's a lesson for the flower and for anyone listening, seeking relaxation after a full day. Not every solution has a gesture, some have a pause. Well-placed pauses are keys, they open doors that force cannot reach. The riddle deepens. If wind makes it tremble and moonlight makes it still, what is missing? Perhaps a rhythm. The gardener decides to lend his own. He inhales for 4 counts, like gathering a handful of peace from the air, keeps one beat, like confirming that peace fits in the chest, releases for 6, like giving back to the world what was learned in it, rests for 2, like letting the body finish the sentence. Repeated, the cadence becomes conversation. Slowly, the flower aligns its invisible breath to the same time. There are no lungs there, there is a movement of life that accompanies. And accompaniment is the ancient language of rest. It is how a heart, tired of trying, finds the sweet way to drift into sleep, not because it was persuaded, but because it was welcomed into a rhythm that invites trust. The hours change texture. The entire garden joins in without fuss. The lavender softens its own perfume so as not to dominate the scene. The jasmine sustains a backdrop of sweetness. The magnolia guards the gate as if it knew the passwords. The ivy draws soft shadows on the ground, a cartography of calms. The shy flower remains closed, yet something within it shifts, the sort of motion haste never notices. The gardener notes the third clue. To move on the inside is a sign that opening has already begun. This sentence is useful outside the bed. Many nights, those seeking deep sleep don't notice the body has entered the path of rest because they expect fireworks. But sleep has an artisan's habits. It works small. First it unties the brow, then it loosens the jaw, aligns the tongue, weighs the shoulders, warms the belly, sinks the heels. Before we know it, the whole house of attention is lit with silence. The gardener remains. He remains as one tending fires that cannot be blown upon. Remaining, he discovers the fourth clue. A fine moisture collects on the petal's edge, a patient dew that seems to write tiny letters. To hydrate is to allow, says the notebook, and to allow is to trust. Allowing the night to do its work. Allowing the body to accept being guided by a story that disarms defenses. Allowing sharp thoughts to wait outside with blankets of promise, we'll talk tomorrow. Allowing everything large to shrink a bit to fit in the bed. Permission is not weakness. It is the wisdom of one who knows the size of the hours and chooses what fits in each. A distant sound offers itself, almost a metronome, drips left over from an invisible leak. Drip, silence, drip, silence. The flower listens, the body does too. Intervals are pillows. Between one drip and the next, the mind finds empty chairs to sit upon. A bedtime story is also made of background rhythms. The riddle now points to the center. The flower does not fear opening, it waits for the moment when the world around it learns to speak with sufficient delicacy. There are doors that only turn when the hand unlearns force. Then comes the fifth clue, the clearest of all, and still, the most discreet. It isn't noise, it isn't brightness. It is a microscopic yielding along the flower's edge. As if stretching a sigh, the petal unrolls a thread of itself. It's almost nothing. but almost nothing is the beginning of everything. The gardener doesn't celebrate loudly, he only smiles with his eyes. The notebook notes, what truly opens doesn't ask for witnesses, it asks for respect. Let the minimal gesture teach the rest. The body, attentive to this teaching, repeats its own minimum: inhale, hold, release long, rest. By the third repetition, the large thoughts begin to wear out their shoes. By the fifth, they doze in the armchair of the mind's living room. By the seventh, they agree to be covered with silence. The shy flower still doesn't fully reveal itself, and that is another part of the riddle. Opening is not an event, it is a process. The process requires the right companions, just right shade, correct moisture, courteous wind, patient moon, presence that doesn't intrude. When all these companions align, the bud doesn't decide, it yields. The human body learns the same when the night grows honest, a bed that embraces, a blanket that weighs just enough, friendly temperature, 3-act breathing, eyes that don't ask for a stage. This is how insomnia loses its argument. It demands urgency, the garden offers time. It wants explanations, the garden offers company. And before these offerings, the inner noise forgets to persist. Perhaps, for some, the riddle would need a single answer, a snap, a formula. The garden, however, prefers to give maps. 1. Lower the wind, inside, that means lowering haste. 2. Raise the moon, inside, that means accepting low light. 3. Keep the water just right, inside, that means not overdoing zeal. 4. Remain, inside, that means not demanding results. 5. Listen, inside, that means noticing the body asking for less. With this map, the shy flower continues on its way. And the one who listens, lying down, notices that their own body has also begun to open where it hurt to close. No spectacle needed. Only continuity. When the night reaches its midpoint, the flower finally offers a word. Not a sound, not a color, but a clear word written in the air, which the gardener reads with the heart: gentleness. That was what was missing. Not technique, not promise, not hurry, gentleness. The same thing the body asks for to fall asleep fast without a fight. The same thing the mind understands when someone says, "You don't need to finish anything now." The same that turns the room into a garden, the bed into a field, the blanket into a breeze, the breath into a bridge. With this word on the page, the riddle is whole. The flower wasn't difficult, it was sensitive. And sensitivity, when it finds its climate, becomes beauty. The gardener stands, drawing steps instead of stepping. The notebook closes as if keeping a satisfied secret. The flower remains almost closed, but the almost is now a promise. The garden resumes its small sounds. The moon accompanies with the patience of old things. And the body, which followed the clues without fanfare, discovers it has already crossed halfway to deep sleep. Little remains, repeat the gentle cadence, allow good weight to distribute, accept that the night's mystery works best without an audience. What the shy flower lacked no longer lacks, the world around it has learned to speak softly. And when the world speaks softly, even secrets find the courage to sleep. He warms the water between his hands, as if protecting a newborn secret. The metal of the watering can receives the heat with gratitude, and the water, once shy, learns to become comfort. When the first drop meets the earth, there's no fanfare, only a short sound, a rounded whisper that recalls the syllables of gentle rain. The earth drinks slowly, like someone savoring an old letter. Hydrating is conversation without words, says the notebook page, and the entire garden agrees with profiles of silence. The gesture is ancient and precise, no overpouring, no stinginess. It finds the exact measure between thirst and excess, between hurry and delay. This is how the ritual of warm water reveals itself, an idiom of care that night understands, a simple path that leads from fatigue to shelter, from thought to rest, from wakefulness to deep sleep. The copper watering can tilts just enough. From its spout, a thread that looks woven emerges. It does not hurt a petal, does not startle the ant, does not displace the moss. It draws on the surface a map of slow circles, like rings of calm on a quiet pond. Each circle says, "Now you may." The water finds the stem and descends through the secret corridor of the roots. Down below, where eyes can't reach, something lights up without light, a vegetal joy. The soil loosens, the root breathes, the flower understands it is home. The air, in turn, changes by a degree. It grows rounder. Night approaches like someone putting on a wool cardigan. And in this temperature adjustment, the human body accompanying the garden begins to remember its own ancient science of resting, the one so many seek when they type sleep story, relaxation, fall asleep fast, meditation for sleep, bedtime story, insomnia. Imagine the warm water arriving first at the shoulders. Not as a jet, but as a cloth soaked in peace, wrung just enough not to drip. The trapezius, which spent the day guarding worlds, recognizes the message and releases an arm of tension it no longer knew by name. The collarbone learns to float. The neck loosens the leash of haste. With each imagined drop, a fastener opens inside. The skin understands that any danger already went to sleep outside. In here, the house is lit only by what's necessary. The water descends unhurried, covering the chest with the lightest weight in the world. It's a weight that does not oppress, it's a reminder. It reminds that the air enters, the air leaves, the cycle is guaranteed. Grateful, the heart accepts a slightly more spaced tempo, the kind that makes room for dreams to pass between beats. Warm water reaches the sternum and turns bone into a tray of stillness. It flows to the ribs, opening windows from the inside out. Each window creaks without noise, it's a polite creak, the sound rest makes when it arrives. The diaphragm, that hidden musician, finally receives the right baton. 4 counts to inhale, 1 to keep, 6 to release, 2 to rest. The music born of this cadence asks not for applause, it asks for continuity. And continuity is all sleep asks for before it arrives, that the good things not be interrupted. Warm water understands the score, it streams along the abdomen, where so many stories are kept. It massages from within as if it had invisible hands. There, where anxiety often pitches its tent, warmth spreads a piece of news, it is safe. The garden follows the same ritual. The thread of water kisses the bases of the lavenders, and the lavenders respond with a perfume that does not raise its voice. Generously, jasmine adds a sweet syllable to the air. The ivy on the wall gathers the lights left over from the day and returns to the ground a drawing of gentle shadow. The magnolia, even quiet, guards the entrance like one who knows old passwords. From the corner, the notebook notes in a breeze-like hand, warm water is in no hurry to persuade, it only shows paths the body believes. And the body believes in what is predictable and kind. That's why, when warm water reaches the arms, in thought, it stretches nerves and joints. Elbows stop being tired hinges and become folds of soft fabric. Wrists loosen invisible rings. Hands, palms turned upward, agree to rest like shells on the edge of a beach that only appears when the eyes close. The water follows gravity's map and reaches the spine. It descends vertebra by vertebra, like a finger that knows the names of each bone and calls them tenderly. The shoulder blades, those shy little boats, find harbor. The lower back, so often misunderstood, receives a blanket of heat that convinces it to trust the mattress. The pelvis yields in symmetry, and the pelvic bowl finds the exact height for every internal river to run without stones. When warm water touches the hips, an ancestral memory opens, that of belonging to the ground. Belonging calms. Accustoming weight to the embrace of the surface reduces edges. Fewer edges always mean less noise. Less noise is always the same address, deep sleep. At each place it reaches, warm water carries away what does not need to sleep along. Small urgencies that insisted on speaking loudly, lists that complained, fears with flashlights. All of it slides over the skin like dust that can't find a place to cling. Water doesn't argue with thoughts, it invites them to sit on the porch bench. We'll talk tomorrow. The invitation has the firmness of one who knows its own worth and the sweetness of one who doesn't need to shout to be understood. That's why the imagination, obedient, agrees to turn noises into the sound of a shallow sea, faraway engines into wind, footsteps in the hallway into branches that won't break. The world goes on, but in here the tempo slows. Now, warmth descends along the thighs like overlapping linen veils. Long muscles understand the message and untie molecular knots. On the inner side, where wakefulness often keeps small defenses, warm water installs low light and turns off the spotlights. Knees give 2 silent clicks, not of pain, of adjustment. All the hinge needed was oil of calm. Shin and calf drink rest like someone finding a spring in the middle of the afternoon. Circulation smiles, the toes remember beaches, small shells at the tips, warm sand underneath, solid rock at the heel. Ankles, which spend the day on watch, receive the rest password and lower their guard. On the body's map, every border opens to the tourism of ease. Outside, the gardener moves the watering can to another bed, and the thread of water embroiders a new pattern. No leaf complains. Those that bend do so out of gratitude. A drop hangs from the tip of a petal and learns to be a star for 1 second before falling. When it touches the soil, it isn't a fall, it's a return. And return, in that patch of world, means nourishment. The notebook records, hydrating from the outside is the same as hydrating from within, reminding the body of the way back. The way back runs through the breath, inhale for 4, welcome 1, exhale for 6, rest 2. Repeated, it fine-tunes the harmony between the water running outside and that which runs inside, in the silent rivers no one sees but everyone feels. Warm water also understands skin. Wherever it touches, it retells forgotten stories. The sun that was too much and now rests, the cold that passed within and no longer rules, the tight clothing that ceded its place to fabrics that listen to the body's shape. In regions where the mind keeps alerts, like the base of the neck, the curve of the lower back, the area around the stomach, warmth creates peace treaties. There's no need to keep watch now. The whole system reads, agrees, and signs. The vagus nerve smiles in secret. And when it smiles, autonomous life slows, heartbeats find their plumb, digestion becomes a gentle river, inner temperature parks in the perfect spot. Those who sought to fall asleep fast notice, often without noticing, that they're already inside sleep's courtyard, with open doors and clean shoes. The ritual also knows the value of measure. Too much water drowns, too little cracks. The gardener trains his eyes to read the surface, color, sheen, texture, humus. The body, watching, learns to read itself, a thirst to stretch? A thirst for a pillow under the knees. A thirst to turn onto one side. A thirst for silence. Each thirst receives the right sip. Gentleness is the ruler. With it, the abdomen agrees to relax without collapsing, the chest agrees to expand without overreaching, the head agrees to grow heavy without undoing the cervical line. And when everything agrees, insomnia loses its arguments. It has nothing left to litigate, because the body's judge has already delivered the simplest sentence: now it's time to rest. Around it, the garden creates its own liturgy. Lavenders recite from memory the poem of things that soothe. Jasmine's blow rhymes the nose hears before the ear. Chamomiles offer that small yellow that recalls the sun from afar, the kind of sun that warms without startling. Mints deliver freshness in the exact dose so heat doesn't turn into heavy sleep. The moistened ground holds the perfume and returns to the air a blend the mind recognizes as home. Outside and inside alike, to hydrate means to allow. Allow night to do its work, allow the body to obey the laws of continuity, allow thoughts to make peace with the idea of a pause. At some point, warm water reaches the feet, even if it's only imagined water, seen from within. Each toe receives a halo of heat that rises through the sole, meets the arch, draws a smile across the metatarsals, and rests at the heel. Gravity, far from being an enemy, becomes a therapist. It pulls gently, organizes weight, returns axis. The whole body remembers what it is to be earth. And remembering, it stops being stone. Stones don't sleep, earth does. Earth knows how to receive seeds, how to keep them, how to wake them at the right time. Made of the same material as good gardens, the body accepts the counsel and allows itself this downward journey, a soft descent to the bed, to the mattress, to the invisible support that exists when one says yes to rest. On the surface, the gardener lifts the watering can high, as if offering a tilted blessing. The flow, still delicate, opens like a fan and falls like a curtain in an old cinema. The sound becomes a miniature, private, intimate rain. The garden gives thanks with sense memory recognizes as childhood, backyard, blanket on the clothesline, wind with no appointment. As it falls, the water erases dust and reveals lusters. On the leaves, drops behave like windows. In each window, a star fits. Some stars arrive, others are born right there, created by reflection. Stars of liquid glass wave to a sky that is still learning to be fully night. The notebook page now records a brief guideline, almost a mantra: where there is rigidity, pass warm water. Where there is haste, count slowly. Where there is weight, distribute it kindly. Where there is noise, listen until it becomes low music. Whoever reads it inwardly turns the guidance into a body map. Shoulders, warm water. Jaw, warm water. Between the eyebrows, warm water. Base of the skull, warm water. Tongue pressed to the roof of the mouth, unstick and pass warm water. Hands clenched, they open like flowers and pass warm water. Small gestures, repeated, make great changes blossom from the inside. The ritual also includes intervals, ping, silence. Ping, silence, as if the world had been tuned by a patient watchmaker. Between each ping and the silence that follows, a whole song could fit, but the song chooses not to be born. It prefers to stay at the stop. The stop is where sleep likes to pause the body to catch a ride. At the stop, warm water becomes mist, and mist becomes a pillow. The head finds the exact curve and decides that tomorrow's thought has no passport for today. When a thought insists, it receives a boarding pass stamped, flight rescheduled for dawn. The mind, which appreciates clear bureaucracies, nods and falls quiet. Meanwhile, the copper watering can rests for a moment on the damp ground. The metal, still warm from the guiding hand, returns to the air a sigh of late afternoon. The gardener lifts it again only to finish, a circle around the bed, like someone closing a drawing. It isn't a fence, it's an embrace. The garden accepts and, in return, offers the promise of flowers. Not all tomorrow, not all the same. But flowers, the way the world says thank you when it's well cared for. Inside the body, the same occurs, not all tensions leave, not all answers appear. But what needs to soften softens. What needs to release releases. What needs to settle settles. 3 verbs of sleep: soften, release, settle. Then warm water fulfills the last stretch. It reaches the heart like tea. It warms without demanding. It doesn't increase the pace, it synchronizes. The heart gives thanks with beats that fit the 4-1-6-2 rhythm. At the end of 3, 5, 7 cycles, each body has its secret count. The mind notices the edges rounding. Where there were corners, now there are curves. Where there were fast curves, now there are the curves of an old road, the kind that follows the terrain without violating it. The ritual ends when the body decides it has ended. And that end is not a period, it's an ellipsis of calm, an invitation to peace, a notice of sleep. In the garden, the last drop from the watering can meets the earth and disappears. No trace remains, the effect does. In the body, the last idea finds the pillow and leans. No demand remains, the promise does. A promise to wake up belonging to the ground, smelling of lavender, carrying on the shoulders the kind of lightness only warm water knows how to give. And if, along the way, the moon asks whether all is well, the answer will come without effort, just like the advice written in the notebook. Hydrating is conversation without words. The conversation has happened. The message was understood. Now the rest is simple, to fall asleep, like someone returning home after a good night in the garden, the kind of night when water, earth, air, and body chose, together, to speak softly. It's not my fault to need time. Confronted with the past, anxiety had no function. The very word time changed color. Instead of a clock, it became fertilizer. Instead of charge, it became nourishment. The invisible fertilizer worked when no one watched. It softened the soil, taught roots to round the corners of stones, invited sap to learn alternative routes. In the human body, the same fertilizer visits nerves and muscles, chats with the vagus nerve, asks the chest for permission to beat less loudly, offers the stomach the news that night demands no hard digestions. In a nearly transparent dusk, the snow rose made a minimal gesture. It wasn't opening, it was the surrender of tension. Petals that once defended themselves accepted a millimeter of yielding. From afar, one might say nothing had changed. Up close, anyone listening would know, it had begun. The happy notebook wrote in snow handwriting, sleep arrives the same way, first on the inside, without announcement. It suggested, for those who need this pedagogy in the body, an exercise of 4 images: mist, to soften thoughts; hearth, to warm the breath; nest, to cradle weight; cloak, to cover skin with silence. Each image, repeated gently, occupies a place that once belonged to restlessness. Where restlessness loses territory, rest builds a home. The following nights came with the right cadence. Not always easy, always possible. When wind overdid it, ivy made a wall. When the temperature fell too far, the earth beneath the dry leaves remembered it still kept deep warmth. When some distant noise threatened, the whole garden conspired to transform it. Engine became shallow sea, footsteps became branches that don't break, drips became metronomes. That is how a story for sleep operates in secret. It doesn't deny the world, it translates it. And the most beautiful translation was the one the snow rose learned to make with itself. What looks like delay is care at work. As days passed, the cold surrendered to small truces. The snow rose, without spectacle, advanced a gesture, its edges rounded, its color gained a shine only possible when life stops fearing to appear. It still wasn't a flower, it was the idea of a flower ripening. One morning, though, brought a message from within the earth, a gentle rise of warmth, a short call, almost in its time. The plant listened and answered. There were no fireworks, there was precision. The bud opened in the exact measure, no wasted beauty, no haste to prove worth. It was holy flower in the exact instant. The garden, complicit, kept silence the way one protects a newborn. The gardener watched with knowing eyes. It wasn't a miracle, it was time. The memory the snow rose keeps is not of the open flower, it is of the time when it almost gave up. That's where the solace comes from. On any difficult night, the memory offers the same embroidery. The gardener's phrase is a scarf, the invisible fertilizer working beneath the world's skin. the certainty that a pause is not a flaw, it's a tool. Whoever arrives tired, with insomnia lurking and the mind asking for a manual, finds in that memory a ready map. 4162 Breathing. Warm water imagined from the sternum to the feet, weight distributed kindly through heels, knees, hips, chest, hands open like shells, eyes surrendered to the caretaking dark. It's simple. And the simple tends to work. When the night asks for company, the story repeats with gentle variations. The sky changes color, the smell of earth changes its music, but the heart recognizes the song. It's not your fault to need time. The phrase serves as a password to cross corridors of worry, as a ticket to postpone meetings with noisy thoughts, as a key to open the little room where blankets of peace are stored. It also serves the next day. Whoever sleeps upon this counsel wakes less demanding with themselves, with others, with the world. The gentleness received from the garden becomes a language one gives. And the cycle completes. What rests well cares better. In the notebook, beside time is invisible fertilizer, another line appeared over time, so is rest. Resting, the snow rose learned, is a way to fertilize all that will come. The body that rests nourishes future hours. The mind that turns off inner lights allows ideas to sprout at the right time. The heart that slows finds the cadence that sustains a large life. That's why the memory's final counsel comes unadorned and asks for a home on the pillow. Keep this with your sleep. When the eyes close, let the phrase warm the distance between one thought and another. It knows the way. Between the day's first and last heartbeat, there is room enough for snow to become water, water to become life, life to become flower, and the body, at last, to become deep sleep. And if, by chance, tonight arrives long, the snow rose has already left the strategy. Turn long into wide. Loosen haste, broaden the breath, stretch the time of gestures, widen the self-forgiveness. The flower that almost gave up learned to open when it traded the ruler of demand for the ruler of care. The garden confirms with a chorus of aromas. Lavender whispers calm, jasmine recalls relaxation, chamomile offers low light, mint brings soft lucidity. The rest, time accomplishes, invisible, patient, perfect. And when time finishes its work, dreams begin theirs. A light breath crosses the garden and nothing breaks. The leaves dance without making a sound. The branches bow their heads as if agreeing with an ancient truth. The air changes course with the courtesy of someone asking permission. The wind doesn't arrive to make a mess, it arrives to teach. In the notebook, the pages move on their own until they reveal a line written in breezehand. Release the petals that way. The advice doesn't demand effort, it invites relief. Some things have already fulfilled their role, memories that were once flowers, ideas that perfumed the day, expectations that protected for a while, and yet they remain clinging to the stem of attention. The wind, master of delicate departures, blows in a way that doesn't rip away. It simply reminds you that letting go is different from losing. First, it touches the shoulders. Not with hands, but with a temperature that dissolves the knots of haste. Shoulders carry worlds that don't need to sleep with you. The wind suggests a simple gesture: inhale counting 4, hold 1, exhale for 6, rest for 2. By the third repetition, the shoulders discover they knew how to fall, that gravity is a lap, not an abyss. Each exhale is an old petal letting go, unanswered emails, sentences that could have been different, schedules that tried to be perfect. All of it agrees to lie down on the floor of now. Anyone seeking a sleep story notices a discrete phenomenon. When weight leaves the shoulders, the pillow finds the right shape for rest. Then the wind visits the jaw. The petals that weigh here have tiny names: what if, later I must remember. They're hard, sharp petals that make the teeth touch out of habit. The wind passes between them with the freshness of a mint leaf and writes another line in the notebook: unclench your teeth, release the tongue from the roof of the mouth, let the face enter the same time zone as the night. The face obeys with an old relief. The skin unlearns vigilance of expression and agrees to be a map of calm. The room's light, in turn, understands the message and adopts the tone of diluted honey that cradles true relaxation. The breath moves along the throat like warm tea. It carries off the grains of dust left by the day's speech. The inner voice, the tireless commentator, learns to whisper, then to murmur, then to grow quiet, like a tide in a week of gentle moons. The notebook notes, for anyone needing practical meditation for sleep: if the mind insists on talking, let it count the wind: 1, 2, 3, 4 to enter, 1 to welcome, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to leave. In a few cycles, noise becomes low wind becomes distant music becomes inhabited silence. In the chest, the wind has a watchmaker's care. It leans on the sternum, finds the clock hidden behind the ribs, and adjusts the hands to the time zone of night. Beats that asked for heroics understand that the greatness of now lies in regularity. Rhythm is a blanket, it covers what trembles. Let fall what weighs, recites the wind, and down come small vigils disguised as efficiency, comparisons that improve nothing, the habit of stirring yesterday with the spoon of guilt. The essential remains: air going in and out, lungs remembering how to be a house for breezes, a heart finding space between beats for rounded-edge thoughts. In this cadence, the body nears the desired harbor, falling asleep fast without a fight. The breath's journey reaches the belly and undoes knots the day tide without asking. Their sleep worries with calendar and shelf names, deadlines, bills, lists. Patiently, the wind arranges invisible drawers. At the top, what belongs only to tomorrow, in the middle, what can wait, in the bottom drawer, what asks for kindness, not a solution. The smooth muscles, reading this inventory, give up their clenches. Digestion finds the pace of a river that doesn't erode its banks. The vagus nerve smiles sidelong, and its smile grants the whole body permission to enter the notebook's good page, the page where deep sleep becomes a consequence, not a goal. The garden, witnessing the council, performs an autumn rehearsal. It isn't sadness, it's wisdom. Trees release leaves that no longer serve as shelter, and upon touching the ground those leaves turn to fertilizer. The wind reminds us, letting go isn't abandonment, it's transformation. In thought, that means allowing ideas to gain resting ground so they can be born healthier the next day. What weighs now becomes food later. In bedtime story language, the process is as simple as a scene: leaves falling without noise, earth receiving without haste, roots thanking in secret. Then comes the turn of arms and hands. How many things stayed caught in the wrists, keys to doors already opened, tools of finished tasks, the swirl of interrupted gestures. The wind passes between the fingers like someone undoing string knots and whispers, "Turn your palms upward." Upturned palms are antennas for rest. They receive the night like receiving water. Elbows stop being tired hinges and become folds of soft fabric. The lighter the hand, the easier it is to release heavy thoughts. They don't fall, they alight. Legs and feet also hold heavy petals, steps that ran beyond necessity, routes repeated inside even when the body stopped, haste inherited from other hours. The breath descends through the hips, crosses thighs, knees, shins, and when it finds the heels, it delivers an ancestral memory, belonging to the ground. Those who belong, rest. Informed of the new agreement, the souls spread tracks of warmth that join in the body's center like a small bonfire. Gravity becomes an ally. Instead of pulling, it embraces. On the ivy wall, the moon pours a light that doesn't wound. The brightness agrees to be low light. The mind reads the scene and learns the scale, urgencies shrink, sharp thoughts lose their points, huge questions sit down to hear the smaller ones. Pleased with the change in tide, the wind flips the notebook's pages to a section of gentle vocabulary: loosen, disarm, redistribute, trust. Loosen what tightens with no use, disarm guards who have no night shift, redistribute invisible weights, trust that what is important will find its way back. As the council says, it knows how to return on its own, if it matters. With each pass of the breath, unseen petals fall. Comparisons, heavy petals, self-demands, heavy petals, borrowed worries, heavy petals. The garden soil, which knows how to recycle stories, gathers everything with generosity that asks no justification. In return, it offers space. Space between ribs, between teeth, between one thought and another. Sleep, which needs space to land, sees a runway lit by fireflies. Each firefly is a number in the 4-1-6-2 cadence, each number a safe step down the stairs of wakefulness. If some loud thought insists, the wind doesn't argue, it proposes an agreement. Thoughts may wait on the porch, covered with a shawl of promise. Tomorrow we'll talk calmly. The agreement is effective immediately and renewable as often as needed. The notebook records the term with the sobriety of one who has seen many nights go well. Postponing with kindness is different from shoving with force. The body understands, the mind organizes itself, attention finds a warm place to rest its head. Deprived of its stage, insomnia loses what feeds it, too much noise and too much light. Now almost silence, the wind offers images of letting go for those who like to see to believe. 1. A tree giving the ground a single leaf at a time, without long farewells. Another, a boat untying its knot and trusting the river's gentle current. Another still, a kite that rises when the line slackens. In all of them, the gesture is the same, trust. Letting go isn't negligence, it is maturity of direction. Sleep recognizes this language. It draws near slowly, without tricks, because it senses the ground has been cleared of thorns. The edges of the body begin to round. Where there was a corner, there is now a curve. Where there was a quick curve, now there's an old road, the kind that respects the land's contour. The wind transcribes the feeling in nearly invisible notes. What is yours by destiny won't be lost. What needn't remain finds the ground without collapse. When the phrase touches the inner ear, it descends to the chest and becomes good weight. Good weight is the kind that helps you sleep. It arranges blankets, organizes pillows, closes windows, turns off lights, and then lies down beside you, asking no questions. In the garden, the plants understand the message and each practices its own way of letting go. Lavender releases perfume for the air to keep on its behalf. Jasmine releases sweetness so the night knows how to smile softly. Chamomile releases yellow so the eyes can have a pocket sun. Magnolia releases vigilance so the door of calm remains open. Together, this sharing creates a layer of stillness that blankets even wakeful thoughts. Anyone who came seeking relaxation, bedtime story, calm, realizes the wind's tale does what good stories do. It translates the world into the language of rest. Should any external sound appear, a distant car wheel, footsteps in the hall, dripping water, the wind renames it. Will becomes the growth of a wave, footsteps become leaves brushing, drips become gentle metronomes. Translating noise into rhythm is the craftsman's labor of rest. When everything becomes rhythm, the body learns to dance at the slowest tempo possible. A choreography of long exhalations, heavy eyelids, muscles sinking into the mattress like seeds into good soil. The council then returns to the beginning to complete the circle, release the petals that way. Now the invitation has a precise address. Shoulders, face, chest, belly, hands, legs, feet. Each part knows what to let go, a thought, a demand, a haste, a fear, an unfinished gesture. The wind gathers everything, not to take it away, but to spread it on the soil of time, where things rest until they become fertilizer for mornings. Letting go doesn't make you smaller, it lightens you. At last, the breath settles on the pillow like a blessing. The head finds the right curve, the blanket finds the exact weight, the room finds the light that doesn't disturb. The notebook closes without a sound, the lesson stayed inside. The wind no longer needs to speak. Whoever listened knows how to repeat alone. Inhale for 4, hold 1, exhale for 6, rest for 2, and, as the counting happens, let fall everything that doesn't need to stay awake through the night. If it's important, it will return by day, through the front door, in clear handwriting. If it doesn't return, it was a tired petal. And tired petals deserve the same kindness as new flowers, a soft ground to rest. Thus the garden falls asleep, and with it falls asleep the small world that fits in the bed. The wind leaves the scene, but remains living in the breath of whoever understood. And sleep comes, round, silent, whole, not because it won a battle, but because it was invited by a house tidied from the inside out. Where there was weight, now there is space. Where there was tightness, now there is rhythm. And where there was haste, there is now a simple certainty that serves as the password to cross the final border of wakefulness. Letting go is another name for resting. The gardener presses the notebook to his heart and, as if pressing his ear to the chest of the night, finally understands. The shy flower wasn't afraid of the world, it was thirsty for gentleness. It wasn't a lack of light, or water, or soil. It was a lack of inner climate, the kind made of quiet presence, protective silence, and a breath that teaches time. So he stays. He stays beside her without asking for anything, as if guarding the garden were simply to be there. Minute after minute of calm presence, and an edge of petal moves. Almost nothing. But almost nothing is the first step of everything. He sits at the edge of the bed and learns the rhythm of waiting. He inhales counting 4, holds 1, exhales for 6, rests 2. Air comes in like someone arriving barefoot, it leaves like someone closing a door without a sound. The flower, recognizing the language of patience, settles inside. The gardener doesn't touch, doesn't call, doesn't compare. He only offers just right shade when the wind overdoes it, warm water when the soil asks for shelter, silence when the day's voices try to slip through the gate of thought. The notebook, open on his lap, receives a sentence that seems written by a breeze. The secret isn't convincing the flower, it's convincing the climate. From that moment on, everything cooperates. The ivy releases a little green so the light turns vanilla. The lavender fine-tunes its scent so the nose can rest. The jasmine holds sweetness at the exact point where it doesn't weigh. The magnolia guards the door like one who knows the password of calm. The whole garden changes tempo, less haste, more pause, less proof, more presence. Anyone who arrived needing a sleep story, relaxation, a discreet path to fall asleep fast without a fight, finds in this scene the unwritten manual of nights that work. The flower that never opened gains courage by millimeters. The first movement is invisible, a loosening from within, like unshrugging the shoulders of the core. Then, a relief along the edge, almost a vegetal yawn. The gardener notices and, so as not to create a spectacle, lowers the volume of his body even more. He lets weight meet the earth, his heart accept more spaced beats, his mind settle onto a porch bench. The notebook records, gentleness is the invisible hand that unlatches the lock of the living. That's how it is with flowers. That's how it is with us. That's how it is with sleep. If some big thought tries to enter, the gardener offers it the porch too, a blanket of promise and the sentence that solves half of all midnights: tomorrow we'll talk better. Thoughts, when treated politely, learn to wait. And well-mannered waiting is excellent fertilizer for deep sleep. Meanwhile, the 4-1-6-2 breath keeps sanding the rough edges of time. Each exhale turns off a hallway light, each pause makes room for another chair in the hall of calm. The flower doesn't open all at once, process, not spectacle. The gardener knows. He accompanies like someone holding an umbrella so another can cross the street, present without intruding, supporting without steering. Sometimes he tilts his body and becomes an awning. Other times, he steps back a hand's breadth and becomes horizon. There is no hurry. Hurry is headwind. The notebook, an accomplice, writes a reminder for tired eyes. Night isn't a finish line, it's a lap where haste unlearns to run. And whoever reads it inside feels the pillow better accept the head's weight, the eyelids understand the invitation, the tongue unstick from the roof of the mouth without needing orders. Suddenly, the entire garden aligns into fertile silence. Sounds from afar, a car, a footstep, a distracted tap, become a frame. In the center, the flower. She seems to remember something old. That opening is not an act of courage, it is an act of trust. Trust in air, trust in earth, trust in time. Trust, above all, in silent company that doesn't demand performance. And by trusting, she allows. By allowing, she yields. By yielding, she grows. The gardener smiles only with his eyes and the notebook writes without haste. Gentleness doesn't rush, it authorizes. Now imagine yourself on the other side of the story. Imagine your body is this bud that waited the whole day for climate. Light was not lacking. Gentleness was. You can bloom like this, without hurry, with silent company. The company can be your own breath, your own care, your own rhythm. Try it. Lie down with heels finding ground, knees aligned, hips weighing just right, shoulders falling to gravity's proper side. Place your hands with palms up, antennas of rest. Whisper inward 3 words with no demands, I'm here. Repeat the cadence, 4 to enter, 1 to welcome, 6 to let go, 2 to rest. As you count, let your body undo invisible fastenings, the jaw, the space between the eyebrows, the base of the skull, the area around the stomach. Each fastener that loosens is an edge of petal that moves. If the mind asks, when will I sleep? Answer as the gardener answered the flower, when gentleness quenches its thirst. And quenching the thirst for gentleness is simple. Lower the volume, raise the softness, approve the time. Lower the volume, less harsh light, fewer notifications, fewer demands. Raise the softness, a hugging pillow, a blanket with good weight, the imagination of warm water descending from shoulders to feet. Approve the time, don't demand arrival, just continue the path. The body understands. It always has. Sometimes it forgets, which is why the ritual serves as a reminder. The flower, there in the bed, realizes the night is on her side. And night, when it sides with life, becomes the mother of every rest. The edge that moves becomes a gentle curve, the gentle curve becomes a small opening, the small opening becomes a promise of fragrance. The gardener stays close, drawing steps instead of stepping. The notebook closes a little, like someone blinking to save a scene. No one applauds. The beauty that matters learns to happen without an audience. The same can happen to you now. There may be no fireworks, there will be smaller signs. The eyelids weigh a millimeter. The chest accepts a wider frequency. The belly releases intentions of control. The head finds the right curve of the pillow. All of it together writes a clear word inside, ready. Ready to let the night do what it has always known how to do, translate the world into the language of rest. If some noise comes, translate it as the garden does, engine becomes shallow sea, footsteps become brushing leaves, drips become gentle metronomes. Meditation for sleep is, often, just that, a well-made translation. The flower that never opened, answer revealed, wasn't waiting for praise, it was waiting for effortless care. And effortless care is exactly what sleep recognizes as a green light. When gentleness reaches the right measure, the flower opens in its time, and sleep arrives in yours. Neither likes to be ordered. Both enjoy being invited. So invite them, as the gardener does, with presence, rhythm, silence. Before closing your eyes completely, leave a note on the pillow, like the one left in the notebook that night. I can bloom unhurried. I have silent company. Repeat it mentally 3 times, carried by the 4-1-6-2. Feel the words descend through your throat like warm tea, reach your chest like a low lantern, and arrive at your belly like a hand that soothes. In the end, allow yourself the luxury of not checking the clock. Clocks measure minutes, flowers measure climate. And when the climate is ready, inside and out, there is no more question to answer. The petal edge moves again. The body answers with a sigh. The whole house of ideas turns off its lights, one by one, until only the glow of the necessary remains. And the necessary now is as simple as one who already knows the way to fall asleep. With no tests, no hurry, with silent company, your own gentleness. Night lights its stars slowly, as if it knows the value of the dark. The flower bed turns into a sky, each dewdrop becomes a small universe resting on the leaves, a point of light learning its own shine. The gardener walks in silence, and the copper watering can carries the day's memory like liquid moonlight. In the apron pocket, the notebook glows softly and opens to a page that says, "When everything is dark, look for light in the smallest drops." The garden agrees without a sound. Plants know that great flashes dwell, almost always, in small things. Perhaps today your light is only a deep sigh. That is enough. At first glance, it seems little, a minimal gleam on the clover's edge, a gentle spark on the lavender's tip, a cool pearl resting on a jasmine. But bring your eyes closer and you'll see whole constellations drawn across the green. Dew isn't just water, it's a map. Through the drops, the night sends instructions in a simple code: loosen, warm, trust, breathe. The gardener reads, as he always has, with body and soul. And the body answers by organizing time in the cadence that teaches sleep to arrive. Inhale for 4, hold 1, exhale for 6, rest 2. With each cycle, a star lights up inside. This is how a sleep story is written on the skin, with small, repeated lights that become a path. The flowerbed's constellation begins in the lavender, shining like a handful of spilled moon. Its scent doesn't raise its voice, it prefers to whisper comfort. The invisible touch of these purple stems calls the body into the territory of relaxation. Beside them, chamomiles display pocket suns, the color of a dawn that hasn't yet woken. Dressed in gentle gold, they remind us that rest is a kind of alliance with time. No one needs to arrive before the clock, it's enough to arrive with the clock. A bit further on, jasmine sends off sweetness in low notes, and each note finds a pillow in the air. On the wall, ivy gathers leftover light and returns to the ground's soft lines of shadow, as if drawing paths for tired feet. In the back, the magnolia guards the entry like one who knows old passwords. Come in, the night has learned its speech. The notebook accepts another line. When the mind looks for big light, offer it light that is near. Near light is the temperature of a blanket arriving in the right measure. It's the position where the lower back understands it can trust. It's the palm turned upward, a silent antenna that catches messages of calm. Near light is remembering that a deep sigh is a useful star. Sighing isn't giving up, it's opening a window. With each sigh, the house within receives fresh air and sends hurry out the front door. Those who struggle with insomnia tend to search for lighthouses. The garden, older than any manual, teaches us to look for fireflies. If the world seems too big, the flower bed invites you to scale down. Look at the drop resting in the center of a blade of grass. Inside it, an entire miniature sky fits, an inverted moon, 2 points that might be stars, the outline of a cloud that learned to be a circle. This drop contains all that is needed for today. The gardener learns and repeats the gesture that saves nights. Reduce. Reduce harsh light. Reduce speech. Reduce the urgencies that masquerade as now. What is necessary fits in less, a rhythm for the air, shelter for the body, a short promise for the mind. We'll talk tomorrow. In that less, falling asleep fast stops being a wish and becomes a consequence. In silence, the plants trade signals. Lavender offers breeze, jasmine returns sugar of perfume, mint blows a freshness that clears the corridor of thought. Under this arrangement of small stars, the body finds an exact place between pillow and mattress. Heels weigh down like a signed presence, knees align, hips settle, shoulders fall to gravity's proper side, jaw unclenches, tongue gently unsticks from the roof of the mouth. Each millimetric adjustment is one more star in the constellation of comfort. And when comfort becomes a sky, the mind understands the language of shelter. The notebook turns a page with the wind of a wing. New lines glow, turn off lights inside, the what if, the I'll do it later, the there's still more. Light only the light of now, low, sufficient. The light of now is the breath itself. It does not ask for great certainties, it asks for consistency. 4, 1, 6, 2. The chest learns to be a smaller sea. The abdomen becomes a lake where waves do not rise. The head rests on the offered curve. If some noise appears, a distant engine, a footstep in the hall, a stubborn drip, the garden translates, engine becomes shallow sea, footstep becomes leaves brushing, drip becomes a friendly metronome. To translate is to light the right star on the mental map. This is how the bedtime story works, by reorganizing constellations. There is a gentle science to small lights. They love beginnings of sentences and the end of day. They love blankets that know their own weight. They love rooms whose windows have learned to filter the world with delicacy. Above all, they love silent company, presence that doesn't charge for results, doesn't demand effects, simply stays. The gardener stays. Staying is the verb that authorizes deep sleep. When someone stays, even if that someone is your own attention, the body understands it doesn't need to stand watch alone. And it switches off internal sentinels, one by one, like closing the windows of a house already safe. At the flowerbed's edge, a constellation reveals itself clearly, 3 drops aligned on a single clover leaf. The gardener smiles and draws 3 dots in the notebook. As beneath, he writes, sign of calm. The brain loves signs, they save words. Perhaps this is your sign tonight, 3 points of pause. 3 repetitions of the night's cadence. 3 stages of letting go, shoulders, face, belly. The body understands images. Rest does, too. Meanwhile, on the other side of the garden, a spider weaves a web that shines like wet silver thread. It isn't a threat, it's a drawing. The world, seen in low light, reveals the care that was hidden. If restlessness comes seeking a stage, the flowerbed offers an empty audience. Restlessness finds no one to perform for and sits quiet for a moment, like a child accepting a blanket. The notebook records, in tiny letters, when the sun is missing, be a window. To be a window is to admit that what comes and goes with the air is enough for now. To be a window is to let the deep sigh become inner brightness. Those who thought they needed a lot discover they needed little, truly. Little and good. Little and gentle. Little and repeated until the body believes it. The sky opens between the ivy, and the moon appears with the patience of old things. It doesn't want to shine more than necessary. Just enough so the edges don't hurt the eyes. In its light, dewdrops gain defined borders, and the flowerbed's constellations look like travel maps. To where? Inward. Night journeys that heal don't take us to other countries, they take us to inner rooms where the floor is soft and the walls speak softly. In each room, a star, calm in the chest, shelter in the belly, clarity in the brow, good weight in the heels. It's a short route, perfect for meditation, for sleep without formalities. The gardener thinks of the shy flower that, one night, opened a millimeter simply because someone stayed. He thinks of the snow rose that needed time, and time arrived as invisible fertilizer. He thinks of the warm water that untied knots and taught muscles to trust. All these memories blink like guiding stars. Gentleness is the great constellation that gathers the rest. And gentleness often begins in a gesture that fits into a second, adjusting the pillow, turning the palm upward, softening the brow, allowing a longer exhale. Each small gesture is a drop of light on the map. As night deepens, the flowerbed's constellations answer with an even finer glow. Dew, which seemed mere ornament, reveals its full office, to enlarge the world without noise. It is dew that reminds us enough is an immense word. Enough is not little, it is exact. Exact for today, for this body, for this mind, for this moment. If haste asks, and tomorrow? The garden returns a wave of the hand, tomorrow is another sky. Now, one deep sigh. And when the sigh comes gentle, it carries off the day's last dust. Time to close the notebook. But first, one more line shines on the page. On dark nights, count the drops. Counting the drops is counting breaths. For to enter, the star is born, one to welcome, the star finds its place, 6 to leave, the star spreads, 2 to rest, the constellation sets. 3, 5, 7 cycles later, the body's edges round. Where there were corners, there are curves. Where there was noise, there is rhythm. Where there was charge, there is invitation. And the invitation is as clear as dewdrop light, come sleep. If any image wants to accompany you, choose one that fits in your pocket, a drop on a jasmine leaf. Inside it, the moon, 2 stars, a cloud outline. Carry it with you to the edge of the pillow. Lay this drop at the center of your chest, let it dissolve into warm light, and count slowly. When the light finishes spreading, the entire room will be different, not through furniture rearranged, but through a rearrangement of brightness. What matters will be lit, the rest will be covered by the good shadow of rest. The flowerbed's constellation then fulfills its duty, it doesn't promise the future, it offers a habitable now. And it is in the habitable now that deep sleep tends to land, round, whole, silent, like ripe fruit choosing its moment to fall. If tomorrow someone asks what great light saved the night, the answer may surprise, it was a single sigh. A sigh without hurry, with silent company, that lit little stars inside. That was enough. That has always been enough. Because, in the garden's language, enough is the exact measure of the miracle. In a low voice, he repeats, not to persuade the world, but to teach the body to remember what it already knows. I am earth, I am time, I am care. The words go in and out with the breath like seeds carried by a gentle breeze. Inhale for 4, let the air arrive like fine rain, hold for 1, as if cradling a bird in your hands, exhale for 6, allowing the day to leave through the front door, rest for 2, and feel silence nesting in the empty spaces. With each repetition, the body aligns, rows of lavender in the wind, and the mind finds tracks of calm where it can walk slowly. It's a simple mantra, perfect for a sleep story, for anyone who needs relaxation, who wants to fall asleep fast without a struggle, who seeks the deep harbor of deep sleep. I am earth. Earth is the ground that receives, the lap that sustains. When the phrase touches the chest, the ribs stop building ramparts and become low fences through which air passes smiling. The skin recalls generous textures, grain, humus, leaf. The lower back, so often a tense sentinel, accepts the mattress's embrace. Heels settle like well-placed roots, knees line up like path stones, hips distribute weight fairly. In the head, a garden begins, sharp thoughts lose their points, big ideas prefer to lie down, turbulent memories turn into folded leaves. I am earth means, I can pause, I can receive, I can nourish. It's the first foundation of meditation for sleep. I am time. Time is the interval that authorizes. Whoever is time doesn't have to chase the clock, walks beside it. The phrase enters with the air and tells the urgencies, you may wait on the porch. The heart understands and spaces its beats, the diaphragm learns to dance on a small sea, the mind, which wanted a manual, discovers the counting is enough, 4, 1, 6, 2. I am time grants permission for nothing to be solved now. The now needs only good climate. Like the shy flower that opens when someone stays close, the body blooms when time becomes companionship, not pressure. And then falling asleep fast stops being a goal and becomes a consequence. I am care. Care isn't excess, it's measure. It's warm water at the right point, shade when the wind overdoes it, silence when noise wants a stage. When the word care lands on the tongue, the jaw releases, the tongue loosens from the roof of the mouth, the brow softens a millimeter. Hands become shells with palms up, antennas for rest. The body reads the messages, shoulders fall to the kind side of gravity, the sternum becomes a tray of stillness, the belly gains a gentle hearth, heat that doesn't burn, only sustains. I am care means, I won't rush, I won't demand, I will keep myself company. And those who keep themselves company sleep better, because they don't need to stand watch alone. Return to the beginning, as if completing a circle in the flower bed. I am earth, I am time, I am care. The words now have the weight of a pillow and the lightness of a breeze. With each cycle, the inner garden rearranges its rows, lavender for serenity, jasmine for sweetness, chamomile for low light. The ivy of attention gathers excess lights and leaves only the sufficient glow of now. If a loud thought insists on passing through, offer it the porch bench and a note, we'll talk tomorrow. The mantra does the rest, translating engines into a shallow sea, footsteps into leaves brushing, drips into a friendly metronome. Allow yourself 3 full rounds. On the first, I am earth settles the body. Notice the points of contact, heels, calves, hips, shoulders, head. Imagine roots traveling a handspan into the mattress, just enough to say I'm home. On the second, I am time widens the spaces between beats, air comes and goes like someone who knows the rooms. Watch inner windows being closed with care, one by one, until only the corridor light of rest remains. On the third, I am care moves along the body's edges, rounding corners. Where there was haste, a pause appears. Where there was demand, an invitation shows up. Where there was noise, rhythm is born. If you wish, add one small gesture at the end of each exhale, a sigh 1 degree sweeter. Sighing is opening a window, not giving up. It's like sprinkling dew over the leaves of thought. The sigh lights tiny stars inside, constellations sufficient to guide the crossing. The secret notebook vibrates in the apron pocket, not to write more, but to confirm what's sufficient is happening. Now let the mantra walk on its own, like a watering can that knows the way to the roots. I am earth, I am time, I am care. With each repetition, more lavender in the alignment of muscles, more jasmine in the sweetness of the air, more chamomile in the tone of the light. If the mind asks already, let the question become mist and pass through it unhurried. On the other side of the mist, there's a field ready, smooth grass, pocket sky, wind that has learned to speak softly. When you feel the body is an aligned flower bed, allow the words to shrink until they become a single note, far off, round, tending everything without needing to be heard. The night knows the rest, drawing up the chairs of silence, distributing blankets of shadow, storing what grew too big for tomorrow in velvet drawers. Sleep arrives like a flower opening at the right time, without spectacle, without announcement, with the precision of something alive. And before the eyelids close completely, leave a final message on the pillow, brief as a smile. I am earth to lie down, time to wait, care to welcome. The phrase lies down beside you and breathes at your rhythm. When it falls asleep, you will already be asleep too, aligned like rows of lavender in the wind, belonging to a garden that, night after night, learns to light the simple miracle of rest. The notebook opens like a small window and asks for 3 tiny gratitudes, just the size for sleeping well, the sheet that hugs, the air that goes in and out, this story that keeps you. Nothing grand, nothing hard, only what's enough. Because night loves what fits in the palm of your hand. First gratitude, the sheet that hugs. Feel the fabric touch your skin as if saying you've arrived. It isn't just cloth, it's the geography of comfort. It knows the curve of your shoulder, understands the measure of your chest, learns the outline of your legs. As you find your favorite position, the sheet finds you. Thank this gentle fibered embrace. In thanking it, the shoulders loosen, the jaw disarms, the body accepts the mattress's invitation. This is how the sleep story begins, with a hug that asks nothing, only belonging. Second, gratitude, the air that goes in and out. Bring your attention to your breathing and count softly. Inhale for 4, hold 1, exhale for 6, rest 2. Air arrives like good news, crosses the house of the chest, opens windows in the ribs, lights a low lamp in the diaphragm, and then returns to the world carrying away the day's leftovers. Thank the air for being a bridge, not a demand. It doesn't ask for performance, it offers rhythm. And rhythm is the language sleep understands when it decides to come quickly, calmly, completely, the simple path to deep sleep. Third, gratitude, this story that keeps you. It doesn't fix everything, but it arranges the chairs inside, translates noise into distant music, becomes wind that speaks softly in the hallway of the mind. Thank this silent company. With it, the room turns into a garden. Lavender lays down serenity, jasmine blows sweetness, chamomile lights a pocket sun. The narrative does what the best sleep stories do. It holds the world's door outside and says, tenderly, we'll talk tomorrow. Now, note each gratitude mentally, as if planting seeds of rest for tomorrow. The sheet that hugs. The air that goes in and out. The story that keeps me. Plant them one by one. As you plant the first, imagine a point of light settling in the heels. On the second, another soft point in the chest. On the third, a warm light at the brow. 3 points, 3 seeds. If you prefer, draw in your mind's notebook A and read, sign of calm. Your body recognizes symbols. And symbols save effort, they leave your energy free to rest. If a thought tries to take the page, offer it the margin, write later and underline it tenderly. Margins exist for that, to keep without weighing. Return to the center of the page and repeat the count of air, 4, 1, 6, 2. With each cycle, the ink of haste fades. With each pause, gratitude darkens in the good way of words that settle. Notice, then, how the sheet becomes steady ground, how the air becomes a continuous track, how the story becomes a safe roof. Body and mind understand the architecture. Where there were corners, curves appear. Where there was noise, rhythm appears. Where there was demand, invitation is born. An invitation to lay your weight where weight is welcome, to let gravity be an embrace, not a fall, to accept that enough is perfect for today. If you wish, add a tiny gesture at the end of each exhale, a sigh 1 degree sweeter. Sighing is a receipt stamp. It confirms your 3 gratitudes were delivered to the right place. With that stamp, the eyelids grow a millimeter heavier, the tongue loosens from the roof of the mouth, the heart finds space between beats for an inhabited silence. Before closing the notebook, read the footer note, so simple and so necessary. Small gratitudes make great nights. Take this line to your pillow. When your eyes close, let the 3 seeds work in silence, enriching the path to tomorrow. The sheet will teach the body to belong, the air will remind you of the right cadence, and the story will guard the doors of your dreams. If, by chance, a thread of restlessness appears, recite inwardly, in the time of your breath, I have the hug, I have the air, I have the story. 3 phrases, 3 steps. In the end, everything that needed to happen will already be happening quietly. The room aligns with the garden aligns with the night, and the night aligns with your rest. Now allow yourself the luxury of simplicity, to fall asleep, like closing a beloved book, knowing that tomorrow, when you open the first page, you'll find new sprouts in the margins, born from the 3 small gratitudes you planted today. The gardener closes the gate with a gesture that makes no sound and, before leaving, slips the key into the pocket of your pajamas. It isn't farewell, it's care. You can return whenever you wish. Just knowing that, the mind slows half a tone, like music preparing for silence. The notebook falls quiet, not because there are no words, but because the ones that mattered have already been said. And the garden, ancient and attentive, begins to breathe for you. Feel the room change temperature from the inside. The walls learn to speak softly. The sheet draws near without hurry and meets your skin as if finding the right place on the map. Lie down simply, heels weighing on steady ground, knees aligned, hips settled, shoulders falling to the kind side of gravity. Turn your palms upward, antennas of rest, and allow your fingers to forget holding the day. The jaw releases, the tongue slips from the roof of the mouth, the space between the eyebrows softens a millimeter. It's the body signing, now it's time to rest. Let the garden set the tempo. Inhale for 4, as if gathering dew from the air. Hold for 1, confirm it fits. Exhale for 6, returning to the world what you no longer need. Rest for 2, so silence can find a chair. 4, 1, 6, 2, again and again. With each cycle, an inner window turns off, a list folds, a sharp thought loses its point. If any distant sound arrives, the garden translates it for you. Engine becomes a shallow sea, footsteps become leaves brushing, drips become a friendly metronome. The world continues, but in here the pace is gentle. Imagine the gate closed, solid, keeping outside everything that can wait. The key, in your pajama pocket, warms like a small sun. That alone lets the mind renounce needless vigilance. I can return whenever I want. With vigilance at peace, the chest finds hammock rhythm, swaying in short waves. The diaphragm learns to sing softly, the ribs become half-open windows, the sternum turns into a tray of stillness. The heart thanks the new space between beats and chooses hearth cadence, steady, warm, safe. The notebook, mute, keeps only what matters open, a line of low light where you can read, almost without ink. It is enough. Enough the blanket's weight. Enough the pillow's softness. Enough the air coming and going without demand. If a thought asks for explanations, offer it the porch and a short note, "We'll talk tomorrow." The inner gaze appreciates clear bureaucracy. It signs, stamps, files, and returns to the rhythm the garden offers. Run your attention over the body as if watering with warm water, from scalp to nape, from nape to shoulders, from shoulders to arms and hands, from chest to belly, from hips to thighs, knees, shins, ankles, feet. Wherever you find rigidity, let imagined warmth rest 1 second longer. Wherever you find haste, count slowly. Wherever you find poorly distributed weight, spread it kindly. With each place touched, a piece settles into its rightful groove. The bed stops being an object and becomes ground. And whoever belongs to the ground, rests. Outside, the night arranges small constellations upon the leaves. Lavender lends serenity, jasmine blows sweetness, chamomile lights a pocket sun for closed eyes. The wind rehearses a language you already know: stay, breathe, trust. The garden breathes for you, and, if you like, you may pretend to breathe for it, like two tides that understand each other. It's an old agreement: while one sleeps, the other keeps a tender watch. And since the watch is guaranteed, the inner sentinels can retire. 1, 2, 3, all of them. If a remnant of restlessness shows up asking for a stage, offer a tiny gesture, a sigh 1 degree sweeter. A sigh isn't surrender, it's opening a window. The sigh sweeps the hallway of the mind, turns off the last light in the office of ideas, and gently pulls the door closed. Behind it, filed away, remain pending matters, deadlines, future conversations. Ahead, this room, this body, this now. Repeat inwardly, to the time of the breath, I am earth to lie down, time to wait, care to welcome. The words shrink, round out, until they become only sensation. The sensation finds a home in the chest and, from the chest, flows in slow rivers through the belly, the hips, the knees, until it rests in the heels. Good weight. Weight that doesn't press, organizes. With good weight, the body's borders lose wire and gain furrow. Where there were edges, curves appear. Where there was noise, rhythm is born. Now let the garden lead the final steps. 3 breathing cycles, 4, 1, 6, 2. On the first round, the shoulders yield. On the second, the face unlearns to keep watch. On the third, the belly agrees to be a dwelling of calm. If the question, "When will I sleep?" tries to surface, it finds the key in your pajama pocket and resolves itself, in my time, with gentleness. The gate remains closed, you remain free. The silence that remains isn't empty, it's fabric. With it, the room puts on a coat of peace. The bed becomes a boat, the blanket a low sky, the pillow a shoreline. The garden breathes for you, and with each breath it carries the body a little further into deep sleep. There are no announcements, there is precision. There is no haste, there is permission. What's necessary happens at the right volume. If tomorrow you're curious how you fell asleep, it will be enough to recall this image: a quiet gate, a warm key, a garden breathing in your place. And then, nothing, the best kind of nothing, the kind that gives everything back. For when night tends to things, rest blooms like a shy flower opening in the watchful presence of someone who stays close. And the one who stays close, tonight, is you, lying down, whole, kept. Now you don't need to do anything else. Let the last thought lean on the pillow and become silence. Let the body make on its own the path it already knows. Let the garden continue breathing for you until the world, inside, dims slowly. When the edge of sleep touches your eyelids, allow yourself the small luxury of not noticing the exact instant. That is how you cross the final door, without effort, with silent company, in the good rhythm of someone who has the key, and therefore can return whenever they wish. If this stroll through the garden quieted your heart, keep this refuge. Subscribe to come back whenever you need a sleep story, relaxation, and deep sleep, a safe place to fall asleep fast with ease. If you'd like to let me know you made it here, leave it in the comments. That little glow helps other tired travelers find this garden too. Before you close your eyes, tap subscribe and turn on the bell to receive new bedtime stories. Like this video, it counts as a sigh of gratitude. Save it to your to sleep playlist and share it with someone who needs a gentler night. Now, breathe in the 4-1-6-2. The garden takes care of the rest for you. Good night.